Hello everyone and welcome back to Everlasting Summer. This is round 3. We will be going through Lena's route, and I will be following a walkthrough which just tells me what options to pick. First, I'll be getting the bad ending, so I'm going to need at least 6 points, meaning I won't be choosing Lena for the mines route until we head for the good ending. I'm pretty sure this will go by pretty quickly because I believe I did the majority of Lena's scenes. So I just have to skip through everything we've already done so we can get to the stuff that we haven't seen yet. Hi, you must have just arrived. Do not reply. I was frozen in astonishment. The girl looked perfectly normal, just like an ordinary human, but I still could not utter a single word. It's too late to run. Did I say something wrong? It took a monumental effort to answer. Yeah. What? Nothing. I mean, I've just arrived. I've never spoken to a girl before. I replied quickly, beginning to worry that I might have blurted out something wrong. Alright then. Welcome. It's still frustrating to lose anyway. I left the canteen. It was still too early to sleep, and a short walk looked like a good idea. Where should I head to? After not betting with Alisa and losing against Lena, if we head to the sports field, it said that we will get a scene with Lena. I wanted to get away. How could I ever lose in the first round? There was no excuse for me. Don't fret the small stuff, bro. The sports ground seemed to be the best place to go to be alone at the moment. I almost said at the tournament. Who would think about playing soccer in the evening? I sat down on a bench near the pitch and started to think about what had happened. Suddenly, from the volleyball field side, I started hearing sounds that seemed to me like sounds of rasping or whistling. Turning, I saw someone desperately swinging his hand. Who is he gesturing to? To my astonishment, it was Lena. She was throwing the shuttlecock up in the air and attempted to strike it with the racket. However, to be really honest, she sucked. I was just watching for a while, but then decided to go up to her. I went around the volleyball court and got inside so that she could see me. Lena was as timid as a deer, so I'd rather not repeat previous mistakes. Hi. She glanced at me and immediately hid the racket and the shuttlecock behind her back. You like badminton? I avoided the word once, and then I could not avoid it again. Not really. I see. You're not really getting it. Maybe you want some help? To tell the truth, I wasn't very good at badminton, but just like any other child, I used to play it from time to time. Let me show you. Thank you. She blushed. I want to join the badminton team, but I don't see it happening, really. I wouldn't even try today, but... She looked up at me. I never had any luck at cards, but seemed like I was on fire today, so I thought it would be the same with badminton. Why do you keep making me say this word over and over again? After these words, I realized that losing to Lena is doubly upsetting. I would never think of you as being so keen on sports. She blushed again. Oh, excuse me. Come on, let me show you. I took the racket, threw the shuttlecock up in the air, and struck it with such strength that it flew over the fence and got lost among the trees. Wow, just flexing on us, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Wow, didn't expect that from myself.
Never mind. Although, it was the last one.
Last one? Let's go and get it. I thought he was going to tell her to go and get it. Rude.
We'd better not. There is, in the forest.
What's in there? A goblin? OST for Goblin Slayer intensifies. I laughed out loud.
Maybe.
It seemed like I was the only one joking around. There's no one there to be afraid of, come on.
Well, if you're with me.
We went out of the sports ground and I started to inspect the trees. All of a sudden the screech of an owl pierced the night. That's a goofy looking owl. Lena got so scared that she seized me with both hands, giving me something like a hug. This strong grip was a bit awkward. It's like they're doing a very bad version of trust fall. It's just not gonna work. The strong grip was a bit awkward. To feel a girl's body and its warmth so close to me. It was filled with tenderness. I had a deep desire to protect her and to guard her from anyone, even if it's only an owl or another night bird. Okay. My only wish was to let this embrace last forever. It's either a really bad trust fall or like she's trying really hard to protect him instead. Like she's about to drag him away from the goofy looking owl. My only wish was to let this embrace last forever. Jeez. Semyon. Desperation oozes. However, all good things must come to an end sooner or later. After a while, I realized I was an owlet who was screeching on a branch next to us. I feel like owlets wouldn't sound like a tiny baby owl wouldn't sound like that. It was holding our shuttlecock tightly. Is that what you were so scared of?
Uh-huh.
Take a look. It isn't scary at all. Lena looked out from behind my back.
You're right. Not scary at all.
Honestly, if I saw an owl with eyes that big, I would be scared. Like, why are they that big? Hey, wait a second. I gently got out of her hug and came closer to the owlet. At first it seemed that it'd get frightened and fly away, dropping the shuttlecock. But the owlet was still perching there. I succeeded in grasping the shuttlecock and carefully taking it from the bird. Hey look, it's almost tame. Would you like to pet it?
Maybe some other time?
I handed the shuttlecock to Lena.
Thank you.
She smiled gently.
I have to go.
Good luck at badminton. Lena smiled again and I hurried away to the camp. How sweet can a girl get? I was sure that Lena wouldn't mind if I sat next to her. Hold on. Wait a second. I'm never gonna know how to make Xenia sound. I don't even know what that was just now. Sorry, maybe later. I gently loosened my sleeve from her grip and headed to the furthest corner of the canteen. Xenia was shouting something in my direction, but I tried to ignore her. Hi, good morning. Having heard the librarian shouting, Lena had been stealing glances at me for a while.
Morning.
Strangely enough, she didn't blush, but smiled instead. Would you mind if I join you? I'll get my meal and be back in no time.
Yeah, sure.
In a minute, I was already sitting in front of her with a simple set of plates on a tray. Porridge, 2 poached eggs, 4 pieces of wheat bread, a boiled sausage, and a glass of compote made of unknown fruits and berries. I don't know what it is about everlasting summer that every time I try to read, I start tripping up really bad. Have a nice meal.
Thanks.
I was trying to eat as neatly as I could, no chomping, smearing food, or spilling the compote over myself. I did any of those anyways. It seems that eating like a human and not like a hog was not that hard at all. As usual, Lena remained silent, which means I could start the conversation. Going to the dance tonight?
Probably.
She was silent for a while.
And you?
I don't know yet, though I didn't want to go there at all. I didn't like dance parties since my school days.
Why so?
What do you mean? My mind was still far away in my school times.
Why don't you want to go?
I didn't say I don't want to.
Okay then.
But if you're inviting me... Lena turned red and looked away.
I don't really...
Sorry, just kidding. I felt confused. I better not joke like that.
Fine.
Lena said indifferently and focused on her food while her face turned even more red. Why am I stuck on this dance if we have nothing else to talk about? But wait, is there actually anything? By the way, maybe you know about what Xenia wanted to ask me?
Huh?
I mean, when I just came in, she wanted something from me.
I don't know.
I see. Riveting conversation. The conversation reached a dead end, so I tried to seem fully focused on my meal. Lena finished her breakfast first.
I should go. See you later.
See you. I was finishing chewing on the sausage, which tasted like a twisted pear cable. Experience? I wonder if they have internet access here. I guess not. A pioneer sitting on the next table noticed me talking to myself and stared at me. I smiled and waved at him in return. Or waved to him in return.
Hi again.
Lena emerged from behind the nurse's back. It seemed strange that I hadn't noticed her until now. Strange. She seemed more spirited during lunch. Let's go back a little bit. Lena was barely noticeable this whole time. Surely she's able to remain invisible like a skilled ninja.
I could do it on my own.
Strange. She seemed more spirited during lunch. No way. There are lots of boxes. And the pioneer is always ready. Isn't that so, pioneer? Whoever that is, what's the big deal? I have better things to do. I came back to the leader's cabin. Olga Dimitrina was lying lazily on her bed and reading a book. Semyon, what are you doing here? That's what I could ask her too. I've forgotten something. So I came back. You were absent at the lineup. Oh, yeah. I apologize. Alright. Nevertheless, you should do something useful today. Just as I planned. But I have my own vision of what useful means. Like, you could go to the square to help with the cleaning. Slavia is in charge there. Strange. I'd just been there and I hadn't seen anyone. Or you could visit the boys at the electronics club. They asked me for a hand. Those fathers of invention again. Finally, you could help at the sports club. What are they up to? They're renewing the pitch, fixing the benches, changing the goal nets, and so on. Honestly, none of those options suited me. Why is she always trying to burden me with work? Seriously, except for Slavia, no one ever works here, while some people in particular are enjoying their free time with a youthful spirit. Every one of the leaders' attempts to keep me busy seems to serve only one purpose: to prevent me from finding out my current location. Really, all the deep and vital questions concerning my existence are swept away by a broom, together with all the rubbish and litter. In my case, taking some time to work would probably pay off, but just like someone suffering gangrene and rejecting an amputation, I will stand by my beliefs. Or die trying. You know, I already had my own arrangements. Oh, really? What kind of arrangements? She bucked up. Well, I can't just tell her what I'm really thinking about. On the other hand, why not? No, it's too dangerous. At least now I maintain a fragile balance and nothing is threatening me. Everything seems that way. Just as I thought. What exactly she thought remains secret. You probably have not yet realized how important it is to participate in social life. This is the only way to become a pioneer capable of being a role model. I didn't want to sit through another long lecture, so I decided to accept one of the offers. Sometimes the answers in this world can be found in the most unexpected places. Or, at least so I wanted to believe. So, should I choose for you? The leader's voice turned authoritative. I can do it myself, thanks. I mumbled and left the cabin. I would like to go see Electronik and Shurik, I almost forgot his name, because they don't get as much screen time as I would like. Well, they might be not so giant after all. That was surely a hard decision to make. Indeed, is there any reason to spend extra time with the weird chaps fond of early to mid-20th century sci-fi? But what if I manage to find out something useful from them? At least I can try. Standing on the threshold of the clubhouse, I hesitated for a while. Finally, all of my doubts were swept aside. I opened the door and went in. Electronik and Shurik were bending over the table, studying something closely. Hey there, cyberneticist. How's it going? I was itching to behave as friendly as I could. Hi. We were waiting for you. How did I know you were going to say that? Electronik obviously intended to be called the Oracle. So, what do you need? You'll help us to complete the robot. No way. That's out of my league. Don't worry, we'll show you around. The more you hate me, the more you will learn. I'm a hard man. Wink. But I am fair. Electronik joined in cheerfully. There's more to life than fun and games, dudes. There's a topic to discuss. I've got a question and you seem to have an answer. What's the question? He inquired guardedly. Do you think it's possible to travel in time? Why would you think such a thing? Electronik suddenly became serious. It's not only my idea. I took a book from the library yesterday, The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. You must have read it. So, well, I'm thinking it over. Oh? Want to leap on the future, see how life is there? Nah, not really. I'm more interested in traveling back in time. Why is that? I don't know. Why not? Well, and what do you think about it? General relativity theory pulsates the existence of wormholes, also known as tunnels in space. But you wouldn't understand it all anyway. I bet I won't. Anyway, in any such supposition, we'll encounter a whole bunch of paradoxes. For example, if you'll travel to the past and kill yourself, then it would mean that you from the present won't be able to exist. Well, it seems so. What wouldn't that actually be like? I don't know. I was gonna say, wouldn't it be like a loop? But I don't think so, because you from the future go back to kill yourself, but then you still, like, I think it breaks things. I don't know. I don't look at these things often. Ever. In a nutshell, it's all too unscientific. You see, but what if it would be possible? I mean, do I need some kind of machine, a device, or a program to get to the past? Or is it enough just to fall asleep in the wrong place and wake up in another time in reality? I'm sure that modern science has no answer for your question yet. Oh, yep, he sounds just like Popular Mechanics magazine. I've seen a couple of issues lying around my shelves, too. I see. It appears that coming here was a bad idea. It appears coming here was absolutely useless. However, if we assume that known laws of physics are incorrect, or alternatively, the laws themselves are correct but we don't know everything about them, then it's definitely possible. Okay. Or it could be somebody, for example, a more advanced race than humans that possess superior knowledge of the nature of things. Okay. They could build a time machine or travel through time by some other means. Okay. Do you think these two would play Dungeons and Dragons? So that means that I was thrown into the past by humanity's big brothers. An interesting idea. And it seems reasonable if you think about it. And how would one find these, the ones you've been talking about, if you're already in the past? How on earth would we know? They both laugh loudly. Well, thanks, guys. I was about to leave. Hey, hang on, and what about our robot? I'm sure that everything will be just fine with it. And Semyon rushed away. The junior cyberneticist arguments were quite logical, but alas, I wasn't any inch closer to solving the mystery of my arrival in this world. What did I expect? I strolled around the camp for some time and then headed to the canteen. Everybody's asleep already and no one's going to go to the canteen at night.
How will we get in there?
I should have thought about it beforehand. Well, that moment I regretted that I still didn't get myself cell phone from the leader's cabin. Olga Demetrina talked my head off then, and I forgot. Anyway, I had to say something to get away from this awkward topic. What kind of music do you like? Night fell on the sleeping camp.
Should we follow the road?
Why? It will be faster through the forest. There's a nice path there.
Well, there could be.
Who, an owlet? I laughed.
Oh, you.
A shadow of displeasure crossed her face. Never mind it, sorry. If you want to.
Okay. But can I?
You. What about me? She calmed down a bit. Because you're a loser. And why is that? Because you're afraid to compete with me. When? When we played cards. What a serious reason. Yeah? Maybe I should apologize to you? I asked sarcastically. Screw you! She went into the house, slamming the door. I wasn't angry at Alisa. In the end, I'd expected her to do something like this. Anyway, I got through it without consequences. I was very lucky. Her confusion and embarrassment just made my day. Chuckling, I left Alisa's cabin, which was about to become my death trap. Is stuff like this in fashion?
I guess.
She got confused and started blushing.
Why do you ask?
Really, why? I think you look gorgeous in it.
Thank you.
It's alright. I'm just being completely honest. We were quiet for some time. How's your headache?
Much better, thank you.
She smiled.
I'll be off.
Good luck. Lena went out and I continued to look through the magazine. Only Lena and Alisa stood out in all this splendor. Well, of course it was quite natural for Alisa to be arguing with someone like that. But hearing Lena talk in a raised voice, I came closer silently, trying to find out what was going on. No, you listen to me.
I'm not going to listen to anything.
Really? Great then. Alisa turned away and her eyes met mine. At first she obviously was confused about what was going on, but then it just seems like Semyon was just standing really, really close to them. He wasn't even sneaking, he just walked straight up towards to them and just stood there staring, watching, waiting. At first she obviously was confused about what was going on, but then... So you're eavesdropping. What? Me? No. It's not like you guys are being quiet. Everyone can hear you. She began slowly advancing on me, and I took a few steps back. Lena, however, remained standing where she was. Well, okay then. Listen. Alisa stopped halfway and turned back to Lena. By the way, did you know he was peeping on me today?
What?
Peeping, and he saw everything.
Is that true?
Lena wrung her hands distressed.ly, gave me a quick glance and started staring at the ground as if she was cut off from the world. No, nothing like that happened. I wouldn't know because I was fast-forwarding. And I don't know what happened during that time. Having thrown an angry glance at Alisa, I came up to Lena. Why are you denying it? I even have a witness. Your witness is even worse than you. So, you'll stick to your claim that it didn't happen? I took a second to think. But really, why do I have such a pathological desire to exonerate myself before Lena? As though I vitally need her opinion of me to remain unchanged. Though, how would I know what she's thinking? It didn't happen. Lena threw a baleful look at Alisa. Lena threw a baleful look at Alisa and raised her eyes to me right after that, eyes full of discomfort and hope. It suddenly became unbearable to stare into these eyes. It didn't happen, I repeated less confidently. Well, whatever. Alisa sneered from behind me. It's up to you to decide who to trust. She said to Lena offhandedly, then turned away and headed to the bonfire.
Is that true?
I felt uncomfortable, like a fish out of water, feeling the urge to end this as fast as possible. And why should I have to excuse myself to her? Well, so what if it did happen? I looked at Lena boldly, but noticed only a bright sunset gleam reflected in a tear which was going down her cheek. No, I meant...
You don't need to lie.
She wiped off her tears and tried to smile.
After all, it's none of my business.
No, why isn't it? Why is it? It's just that well, it was an accident, get it? An accident which was caused by Oliana, nothing more.
Yeah, sure.
It's true.
I believe you.
Lena was saying everything with absolutely no emotion, like she didn't care at all about what was going on. I was almost able to believe it with her tears a few seconds ago. It seems to me that you don't.
What is this, some kind of game?
Well, yes. Lena said quietly, but there was a hint of anger in her tone.
You really need to convince me of that? And even if I believed you, what then? Would it all become true?
I'm not trying to convince you of anything, I just want you to understand that I'm not guilty, and didn't want to.
Why should I care at all?
Lena shouted. I was standing with my back to the bonfire, but I was sure that all the pioneers had turned in our direction. I don't know why she's getting angry. We've only known each other for 4 days. 4 or 5 days.
If you want to peep at someone, do it. Do whatever you want. But why do you bother me?
I'm not... But really, from any point of view, it looked that way. I'm trying to excuse myself to Lena with no success. Like a guilty child, or maybe even like a husband who's slipped up.
Just so you know, I don't care.
If you didn't care, then why are you so upset? Lena turned away and headed back to the camp at fast walk. I didn't try to stop her. Now it certainly wasn't the best solution. She was on edge. No attempts to convince her or appeal to reason would help. Since when is she like that? Screaming that way, getting mad? With these thoughts in mind, I returned to the bonfire and sat down on a wooden log. We've known each other for barely a week. This is a big, this is a big turn off. So, Alisa asked after sitting herself nearby. What?
Not a great success, huh?
As you see, I growled out while picking at the coals with a stick. It grew completely dark and the glade was plunged into darkness. The surrounding landscape was reminiscent of a picture from a child's book about a wood monster, an unknown forest creature. It's just about to spring out from behind the tree. Predatory owls hoot menacingly in tree branches. Even mice look out from snags stare at you with distrust. I was not afraid at the moment. Everything was different from the previous day when I was in the dungeon at the old camp. Nothing is more terrifying than that moment. The moon was shining brightly, paying close attention to our brave troop. The world was sleeping, waiting for the morning, bathing in the moonlight. As I thought, though it was expected. But why? I finally managed to pick up the largest burning log and throw it into the center of the fire, causing the flames to rise about a meter high and a vortex of sparks to spread out in all directions. Does Lena often behave like that? How? Screaming at others, voice cracking. I couldn't believe she would act in such a way. She is human like anyone else, Alisa giggled. As if you hadn't noticed this before. What hadn't I noticed? Her. What do you mean? I mean, this is her true face. What do you mean, true face? Ugh, you're so stupid. Finish what you started. She's not what she seems like. Not like how you thought of her before. So how is she? Ugh, okay, I'm sick of this. Alisa stood up, intending to leave. I didn't say anything, just sat and listened to the silence of the forest. By the way, if you want to follow her, I think she's on the island. On what island? The one where you were gathering strawberries today? And what is she doing there? Oh, you really are an idiot. Alisa stomped the ground and circled the campfire and sat opposite. I must have really lost track of things. My head was absolutely blank. To be precise, it was so heavy and full so that not even a single idea would have the chance to dwell there. If I would compare my brain at its prime to a broad highway full of speeding thoughts overtaking each other and causing giant chaotic crashes, then now it's nothing but a forgotten tiny path in a distant, desolate forest, which is only used in times of absolute necessity. I tried to think over what had happened, analyze it somehow, but it seemed I was bashing against an invisible wall. Moreover, it was impossible for me to find a single emotion in my soul, any response, as if it had all happened to someone else. I failed to convince Lena that I'm not guilty. Should I care? Lena cried, screamed, and then left. So what? I don't feel anything about it. Should I? I bit my lip until it bled and stood up. I couldn't bear to stay here among these laughing pioneers. I thought everybody was sleeping. I should run away. It doesn't matter where to the forest, to the mine, even to space. I don't care. Just so long as I can get far away from here. I seized a moment when the camp leader was looking in another direction and vanished into the forest shadows. There had been no rain for a long time. However, I'm not sure whether it rains here at all. What a stupid idea, of course it does. The plants need some moisture. The night was fresher than the afternoon, but the air still hadn't had enough time to cool. I felt a little dizzy from the evening stuffiness. Suddenly I realized that I really wanted to swim. It's quite a normal desire because the days are hot and you constantly feel soaked with sweat during the daytime. I didn't even notice that I'd been approaching the pier. Why not the beach? Thoughts of Lena came over me again. Everything that I tried to ignore came out, and I brought lots of inconvenient questions, inappropriate answers, and vague desires. It was obvious that I had been led to the pier by my subconscious. But what do I really want? To apologize to her for something? To convince her of something? No, unlikely. I just wanted to get some sort of reaction from her, wanted her to say, yes, I understand everything, and just smile. And then I could stop myself from feeling like that. It was necessary for me to be understood by someone even in this world. I untied a boat, pushed into the water, got in and took out the paddles. It was easier to row this time. My hands were still hurting, but I managed to develop some sort of technique that allowed me to travel quite directly. The river seemed frozen, spreading under the boat like a translucent veil. The moonlight was piercing deep into the water, so it was almost possible to see the bottom. I started rowing. Surprisingly, the island now seemed the same as it did in the daytime. Here usually everything is different. After dusk it felt like another world, a mystery world, scary at times but beautiful in its own way. A world of shadows and whispers, a nocturnal world. I slowly walked around the island looking for the boat which Lena took to come here. The grass softly rustled under my feet. The occasional waves peacefully struck the shore and bounced back like flies, too tired from beating on the grass. What? The breeze from the water lazily stirred the leaves of the trees, out of habit rather than a real desire to make the night grove sing. The night grove. I looked at this wonderful picture with such delight that I didn't even notice something until I stumbled into it. A dead body. It was a boat. Well, of course she wouldn't get here by swimming. I headed towards the center of the island. After 100 meters, I heard a rustling from behind a tree.
Don't come any closer,
Lena whispered. I hesitated.
Don't come any closer,
she said louder. How did you know it's me? Though she hadn't indicated that she'd known that. All right. I leaned against a tree, trying not to look behind it. Alisa told me that you'd be here.
So what?
It was difficult for me to know what emotions Lena was experiencing. Her voice was steady enough, even though I could read irritation and annoyance in it. I could not understand whether she was angry or whether it was all the same to her. It came out awkward. I was doing my best to avoid unnecessary apologies and excuses, but couldn't find other words to use instead.
Was that the only reason you came?
No, well, I don't know.
You don't know, but you still came?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have.
Why, of course, if I'm bothering you.
Why are you following me?
She was right. Certainly looked that way. Moreover, I definitely felt attracted to her. You shouldn't think like this.
How should I?
I don't know.
I can only draw conclusions based on your behavior.
I really don't know. I guess I'd better go. I was confused and it was hard just to be near her.
Why, since you came?
I seemed to hear a playful tone in her voice. Alright. Mood swings.
And?
What?
What did Alisa tell you?
Nothing special. I'm extremely sleepy right now, so forgive me if I'm lacking.
I see.
Yeah.
Well then.
Yep. Riveting as always. We just stayed silent for a while.
Since you came, tell me something.
Well, I don't know. The conversation between Lena and Semyon, before it was just boring, and now it's still boring. I'm sorry. I can't even remember when there was a time that conversation with her was actually interesting. I want to say the time where we danced with her, but that was before we even had any other scenes with her, so it was just weird the way she was acting. That's like the only time where it was interesting, because it was like, what the heck? Why is Lena acting like this?
For example, about what happened this morning.
What about what happened this morning?
You know,
You yourself didn't want to talk about it.
I didn't want to, but now I want to.
Lena's voice trembled. I couldn't understand what was happening at all anymore. Maybe it's not her behind the tree?
Don't look.
Okay, but what's wrong?
Nothing, just don't look.
Alright, as you wish.
So nothing happened?
Well, something did, but that was all just a silly accident.
Then why are you so worried about what I think about it?
And why are you so worried, why are you so upset about what happened? I'm not worried. And anyway, you yourself, I said louder, beginning to feel irritated.
What about me?
Why are you so concerned about the situation?
Who said that I'm concerned about the situation?
Earlier you screamed at me because you were so upset. Don't play it off. You're the one specifically who reacted poorly to the entire situation. Then what?
Nothing.
She said in a whisper and fell silent. Such talk would lead us to nowhere. Lena won't say anything, and I seem to be too stupid to guess or even just to be sure about myself. Really, the chemistry between these two is like nothing. There is no chemistry at all. The only reason they're even, like, attracted to each other, or more like Semyon's attracted to her, is because it's a route. That's the only reason he even has any interest in her. Otherwise, there hasn't been anything, any interaction, really, that was interesting enough to be pursuing her, in my opinion. I'm so sleepy, my eyes keep closing. I should have slept like a normal person and not stayed up for longer than I should. Lena won't say anything, and I seem to be too stupid to guess or even just to be sure about myself. Sorry, I guess it's all my fault. I just cannot understand.
Why?
What?
Why do you keep apologizing for everything? For what you did, for what you're doing, even for what you haven't done yet?
But maybe she was right, but I couldn't behave differently. I felt the need to apologize to her, to everyone, so that they would not think badly of me, wouldn't laugh at me, so I can put away something unsaid and eliminate misunderstandings.
Anyway, that's your business.
Lena got angry. Mood swings.
Apologize, make excuses. Why should I care?
Okay, well, I'm not guilty. In fact, I don't think I could be blamed for anything. But then what's wrong? What's wrong with you?
Why would something be wrong with me?
I don't know, I just think so. You're acting pretty off right now. So something's wrong.
Oh, you just think so.
She laughed.
You speak as if you know me.
I did not answer.
Please leave.
Lena said after a while. I didn't move, just couldn't. Had no strength to do so. I wanted nothing at this point, didn't want to excuse myself, to apologize. I didn't even want her understanding. I was too tired of everything. Why? Comparing it now, I think Alisa's the way she acts is a lot better than the way Lena's acting, because we've actually spent longer amounts of time with Alisa and getting to know her than with Lena, especially when we haven't even done the minds yet. So there's just this huge gap right now of What is going on?
Just leave,
She whispered. I don't want to.
then I'll leave.
Let's just go together.
No.
How long are you going to be offended? By what? What's wrong with you? Everyone here behaves normally except you. You freak. I didn't care what my words meant. I didn't care how mean it really was. It's not going to solve anything at all. It's words that would make things worse. As if they had been said by someone else and the topic of conversation meant nothing.
You really don't understand anything. Alisa was right.
About what?
Never mind.
Also, why would you believe Alisa? She's a big liar, pants on fire. Majority of the time. I close my eyes to think it over. No, I can't go. I don't understand, don't know what to think, what to do. And since when did I stop worrying about my situation in this world or how to get back? Since when was the only thing I could think about Lena or how others would look at me, or how my actions looked from the other side? This Semyon is very self-conscious. It's just stupid, and it's not like me. In fact, it's inappropriate in this situation. In short, I didn't do anything and don't intend to justify things which I didn't do, despite every excuse I am attempting to pull out my ass. There was no reply. Hey, do you hear me? I finally decided to see who was actually hiding behind the tree, but no one was there. So she left. He's so unfamiliar with her that he doesn't even recognize her voice. He was just going with the flow. I rushed over to Lena's boat, but she was already far away, almost near the pier. Whatever. I shouted and walked along the shore. I got back relatively quickly and without much trouble. However, my hands still ached terribly and my eyes were closing themselves. Same. Probably just a physical and, more importantly, emotional load is too much for one person. I walked slowly toward the camp leader's cabin, staring down at my feet and thinking about nothing. Someone called me at the square. Hey. Alisa ran up to me. Have you been to the island? Yeah. To tell the truth, I didn't want to talk to her about anything, but I already didn't have the strength to lie to her. And how did it go? Doesn't matter. I'm very tired and I'm going to sleep. Come on, tell me. Her face had such a nasty grimace that I shuddered with rage. Why should you care? Well, she murmured in dismay. Mind your own business. I snapped and quickened my pace toward the cabins. Alisa didn't try to stop me. Annoyingly, Olga Dmitrievna had not returned yet, and I could not find my key. What if I lost it? The only thing I could do was wait and fall asleep in the little beach chair. I plopped down onto the deck chair and closed my eyes. Heh, we both had the same idea. Wavelength. My heart was heavy and my soul was being torn apart by vague expectations. From time to time I had a feeling that I was already dead, just without realizing it, and had been thrown into hell. But really, instead of trying to get out of here, I'm spinning on a diabolic roundabout and it goes faster and faster. I'm becoming more and more involved in the life of this world, of this camp. As if I had no past, the real one. As if I was always interested in opinions of others. Damn it, I never cared about it. Why right here? Why right now? I need to get rid of everyone. They're making me feel. I recalled the face of Lena in tears. Yeah, probably not the opinions of others, but her opinion was the one I cared about. Seductress. I heard far footsteps, and after a while, Olga Demetrina appeared. She looked at me for a few seconds, seemed like she was about to say something, but then just sighed, opened the door with her key and went in. I followed her. Shapeless shadows, blurry memories, fragments of feelings and emotions swirled in my head for a long time. For so long that after a while I couldn't tell where I was or what's happening to me. The only salvation was sleep. I'm gonna stop here for now because I am extremely sleepy. I don't know if this is gonna end up 2 separate videos or it's gonna be one whole, because I gotta cut out all of the extra stuff of fast forwarding. And I don't know how long it's going to end up being after I do that. So this is either going to be one giant video and I'm going to immediately start up again after this, or it's going to be 2 separate videos. In the case that it's 2 separate videos, I'm just going to say I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I hope you have a good day and a good night. I need to catch like a couple more hours of sleep because I have a bad habit of not sleeping like I should. I'm like falling asleep right now. Every time I stopped to talk about the scene, my eyes were just shut. This is terrible. I'll see you guys in a moment or in the next one. Bye-bye.